Alright, back to the motor here. Got everything all cleaned up. There we go. Get them all nice and deburred, clean. So now I go ahead and put them on the motor. So first thing I'm going to do is put the cam cover on here. Find some bolts for holding it in now. Hopefully some of these work. That looks good. Actually, this is going to get buffed on, so we don't want to use our chrome hardware on here. Let's get some black bolts. Stuff we don't care about getting damaged. Even that one sticks up a little bit. I'll go dig up a handful of black stuff later. Okay, so right now the gasket just overhangs a little bit. So I'm going to have to go trim down this cover here a little bit. We'll have to see. See how the oil pump is not as high as my plate is. So it'll clear the motor. Yep. Whereas my plate is not clear because it hits on top here. So I have to cut that down a little bit more. So it looks like I got to cut about 1/8 of an inch off to one side and about a 1/16 on this side to get it to fit. So we'll lay the gasket up on here and see the gasket. We need to be cut right to the gasket. Instead of being a little bit extra thick, I need to cut to the gasket. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little trimming on that and see what we got. Now while we're out there checking on that, let's check on these plates here. See where we're at on these plates. Okay, you can see how we're extra thick on these also. So you might have to do a little trimming on these also. See what they look like. Yep. So we need to do a little bit of trimming on these also. Okay, so I'm going to go back and remark these, recut them, and do everything I just did again one more time. So I made them a little bit thick just to make sure I have plenty of meat, but now that extra material in there is going to be a problem. So I have to get rid of it. Now let's see if I need to do it on every surface. I purposely left this thick because it's a bad part of our case. This one will bolt on with no problem. I'll leave that one alone. Looks like this one will just fit on there also. So we can leave it on. Good. I don't have to rework that, only the oil pump. Okay, so to hold them on, I'm going to use some little short hex bolts here. Little stubby ones. So we'll go ahead and just put those on with that. Hopefully there's no clearance issues with anything. That one will fit. Okay. Everything seems to be fitting down there okay. This one here I gotta use a wrench on to tighten it up. Not that one though. I can't tighten this up very much because the gasket, the plate's real thin, so we're just going to buckle it. I'll just put a little bit more than finger tight, but not much more. Not that much. Just a little bit of my finger there's all I'm using. Okay, that should seal it up hopefully. I'm going to pull all these acorn nuts off of this motor also and put regular nuts on there so that they can polish and not destroy the chrome nuts. We don't want to get our new nuts all damaged, so we'll have to swap out all these parts. So it takes a little extra effort to do it correctly, but if you want a show polish job, that's what we're going to have to do. And hopefully nothing gets inside this motor. So like that. Alright, so before I do this for real, I'm going to have to stuff some towels up underneath here. Some rags, just in case we get some grit in here or something. So we want to make sure there's no issues. Just make sure this hardware fits. Okay, that one will fit on there too. Just because we got gaskets on there doesn't mean something won't get inside the motor. So we'll just throw, like I said, we'll just throw some towels up in there. In case anything does get in there, should be able to catch it. So we're just trying to do everything we can to stop any contamination in this motor. Alright, so I'll be back. I'm going to dig up some more stuff. Alright, I'm back. Okay, whoa. Why did that keep blowing up so big? Alright, get that over there, we can see a little better. Okay, let me grab me a brand new towel. I'm going to stuff that in there like this. Catch anything that falls in there, hopefully. At least that's what we're going to try to do. Wrap it like that too. Okay, we're putting a gasket on the cam cover surface. I went and got me a bunch of Allen bolts here to go in here. They're sticking through right now. Oh, well, I can't do that. Dumbass. You can't do that. And the crank goes on top of there. Make it hard for the cam cover to go on there when you get it over the shaft. Alright. Okay. Okay, that part's done. Okay, I got these bolts on here. I gotta tighten these up. Okay, so that's all buttoned up there. I still got to put a tape over this part. I got to find the cover for here. Okay, now for the oil pump, I went ahead and got this thing trimmed way on down. So now, when you put the gasket on there, you can see how it's flush with the gasket, so now it should fit on the motor. Okay, next problem is this is quarter 24 bolts, screws that I don't have. So what I'm going to use quarter 20, which is only good for about 1.5, 2 turns max, and it locks out. So I'm going to space it with washers to whatever makes it work. So I got little short screws here, bolts. So I have to figure out how long of a bolt I can use here. I blew it up way too big. So one washer is not enough. So let's try 2 washers. Alright, 2 washers looks like it'd be about right distance sticking through. See the difference between the two? Okay. Now if the bolt gets tight and the cover is still loose, then we bottomed out the threads, not the cover. You see right now it's bottomed out on the threads, not the cover. So we need something like a half a washer. You can't use these thick washers. I don't think I can put 3 of those on there. There wouldn't be any left to screw on with. Now we have no threads at all, so yeah, that's pushing it. Okay, so I'm going to need some thin washers to go in there. So I'm going to go find me some thinner 1/4 inch washers. These are USS, these are real thick ones. So I'll go find me some thin ones. So we'll wind up using 2 thicks, 1 thin, and that should be just enough to hold that plate on there. See, that's hopefully how it works. And we got room here along the edge, we're not hitting on the cover, so we're good there. The next thing is I'm going to change out these nuts, the acorn nuts here, to standard nuts. I'm just going to use some unplated nuts here, hex head. I want to keep tension on the case so the sealer doesn't break free, so we got to put hardware back as we take it off. As long as you do one at a time, there's no problem. Just torque it back down when you're done. There we go. Just do that all the way around. Now this way, we'll be able to do what we need to do. Actually, it's a thin washer. That might work for the right here, maybe. Perfect. Yeah, I can use those little thin washers there. But I'd rather have real ones. I'll go get some other ones. I'm also going to have to get some plugs for the pipe holes here where the oil line fittings go, so I can plug those up also. You want to plug up all the holes that get in the motor. And I'll put the cylinders on there to see at the top of the motor. Then we're going to take it all back apart again and swap it all back. This is what we call a make work project. Makes me more work. That was alright on there. So we're doing all this so that we can repolish this case, get it nice and shiny before I put it all together for real. And this time I won't care about the buffing rouge on the outside because it'll be all clean on the inside. So it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect me. I don't want to screw up the new chrome, so that's why I'm going to take all this chrome out. Put it aside for later. We'll put some nice clean hardware like this in there we don't care about. Perfect. I'm going to have to clean the threads up on these though. And what else we got here? I got some other bolt sealers. I brought some other hardware just in case. There we go. That works a lot better. Okay. So I'll just work my way around this. Get this part done. So we'll be back. Alright, we're back on doing the mock-up on this motor here. So I found the missing plug I needed for here. I got all the hardware changed out on the cases here. Got plugged in here and plugged. Plugged this, plugged that, plugged up that. Everything's all plugged. Plug, 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 plug. I haven't found the covers for this yet. We'll do that later. Okay, the main bearing's wide open right now, so this is the seal. I know why it's wide open because I never finished it. Or did I? No, I did seal it. Okay. Anyway, this is ready to go together. I went ahead and polished this up real nice and smooth. This is an S&S one anyway, and then I hit it with some 1000 grit paper to smooth it up even more. I think it was 1000. Might have been 500. Okay, anyway, that'll do that. We'll put that in there right now. That'll seal this up more or less. I'll still run tape around it to make sure it's sealed. I'm going to use my cylinders here. There's junk pair I'm laying around to seal the top in here. I don't want to get his all nicked up. We don't be buffing on these new ones here. They're all nice and clean, so I'll just use my junk cylinders here I got laying around, and it'll button that up onto there. And we'll use the hardware we had laying around. This is his old hardware, which he didn't like. Here's some hardware I had laying around. That's brand new, but it's nice and polished. So it's a lot better than his is. So he likes these a lot better. And he thought it was a great idea that he would just trade it out for free. And I figured he'd like that idea. I didn't necessarily like that one though, but he went for it. He was all for it, so I guess that makes it okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the seal put in next here. So put a little bit of oil on this thing. Don't want to put them in there dry. Okay, I'll put the seals in the correct way. Harley likes to put them in backwards like this, so it keeps the oil from getting into the motor. I like to keep the oil in the motor and not let it leak out. So they have different theories on how to do things than what I do. So you can pick the direction you want to use yours in. See, I like keeping the oil in the motor. Big ass hammer. Piece of pipe that I machined flat on that side and beat the hell out on this side. Just going to work it in like that. You see it just working in a little bit as you go. Slowly on. When it hits the case, it's in all the way. Just make it go in flat like that, and a little at a time, and eventually it's fine. It's all the way in. You have to spend $5 for your tool instead of $100 and something bucks from Jim's. See, it's hard already. There you go. use a nice heavy hammer and hit lightly with it. It's better than having a small hammer beating it real hard. Force matters. You have more control with a heavy hammer light hitting than you do with a light hammer. You got to beat the hell out of it to get it in. Okay, there's that. It rotates and everything. Okay, good deal. Now that's ready to be all taped up. We use some nice eBay tape. I sell on eBay in case you didn't notice. So, start on the outside lip. Make sure you pull them tight. Alright, there's our first piece on there. Do it again. Slowly bring it on in. Like that. Let's do another one. All the way around that one. And we want to encapsulate the end of it. Right here. Fold it over. Another layer on there. And I put one more on the outside, just to make sure that you got it all on there. And it's completely sealed up. No crap getting in installation. There you go. And you can piss on that, you can blow dirt on that, you can do whatever you want to it. It's sealed. So, there you go. That's how you want it on there. Key is you gotta have it stuck right here. That's the key. The next key is encapsulate on the end. Okay, so that's all in there. These holes do not go through. These do. So you gotta keep the shit out of those. So if I can find the 2 screws that go in there, I'll put them in there. Otherwise I'll just put a piece of tape over there. I don't see the little screws, but maybe we'll find them later. That'll be the last thing that's open up to the inside of the motor. It'll be that. So I want to keep all the junk out of the motor, wherever possible. Okay, now I want to put some new gaskets on here. So these are gaskets we're going to use. That's still what S&S gives you, which is crap. We'll be upgrading, so this is the upgraded gasket here. So we'll use this to do our seal. Instead of using a metal coated, vulcanized, rubber coated, thick rubber coated steel gasket like they used to use, they went to this floor mat material over a probably aluminum core. So this is their new way of doing it. I like the old way better. But, oh well. Make sure you put on there correctly. Here to be fitting. Okay. Okay, this is the front cylinder. If I don't put a piston on it, the rods are going to rattle. So we'll just grab the new pistons that are laying here that aren't being used for anything important right now. Okay, stick that one right in there. Now, I think they have made these commonized now. So one piston fits both holes now. Used to be they were completely different. I want to use to lose the clips. Okay, yes. So if you're in doubt about being what they are, if you have the same part number on the dome, they're the same. These have the same number. Wiseco's making these now. So, you tell real quick. Yeah, they're using Wiseco clips. That probably means they're using Wiseco pistons. Alright. that one in. Wipe off the mung off of it. There we go. Yeah, take our front cylinder. In case you know which one it is. Push rods are on this side. Piston notch is in the middle. So if this was on the rear, the notches would be over here. See, now they're on this side. This is the front cylinder. And if you're in doubt, it matches the cutout on the piston right there. And it should fit right over the gasket, right into the case. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Okay, we're going to use his old nuts to lock up. I don't know if you have to start these or not. These might be short enough you don't have to start them anymore. Yeah, they do fit in there without having to pull the cylinder up now. Alright. Makes it a lot easier. That means you can send his nuts out and get them chromed, show chromed, and not use mine. You know he wants to use his stuff. How's that look? Okay. Let's take the 7/16 wrench up here now. So I'm just going to put a little torque on here, not a huge amount. To give him a good seal, goop in there. Okay, now's a good time to look at the how much piston pop-up we're going to have here. See that little layer of stuff right there? And you see something in the motor you don't like, try to get it out. Doesn't want to come out. Okay, so I'm rotating the crank here. Pull this back a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to rotate the crank here until it's top dead center. We'll see how much this piston pops up. Okay, so the piston now is right up to here. It's still below the height of the cylinder here. And these were the 22 thou gaskets. They also make a 36 thousandths gasket. So, okay, these ones are 25 and they crush to 20. Okay, well, about 22. So the other one they make is a 36 thousandths gasket, crushed to 34 thousandths. So this one here, it's not even up to flush yet, so we got plenty of room to run a shorter cylinder or whatever we want. Now these cylinders here, I'm assuming this is a stock height cylinder. This one over here is a plus 200 cylinder, so it's different. So these are not the cylinders we're using, but you just got to get a reference when you do a mock-up, kind of get an idea where you're at. Every time you work on the motor, you're always looking to see if there's any problems down the road. At least I do. Okay, now this one should be pretty tall because this is full 200 high, which is for a 98-inch motor, not a 93-inch motor. So this piston won't come up as high. I'll rotate this around to be equal. Right there. So this one here, the piston's a lot further down than that one over there, because this cylinder's taller. But that's okay for now. Missing one. We're missing a nut. We're missing two nuts. Nope, only one nut. So where did the other nut go? Question. Missing in action. I could have swore I counted all the nuts out earlier when we swapped them around. Okay, so now we're on a big nut hut. Where did the missing nut go? Okay, how many do we have out here? Looks like we have the correct quantity of nuts over here. Yes, we have 8 shiny nuts. We are missing one nasty nut. So somewhere along the line, nut disappeared. Used to have a couple extra nuts floating around over here. That was a while ago. Great. That means I gotta use one of my good nuts. And we have to figure out what happened to one of his crappy nuts. No wonder he wanted to trade. He was missing one. And it's around somewhere because we took the motor apart. So it's gotta be around here somewhere. For now we use the a good one. Alright. Now we got our motor pretty well buttoned up. Like we still got 2 holes open here. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about. I gotta finish topping off these 2 parts here, which I'll have to figure out. And then up here I'll put a bag over the top of here and then tape around these to keep the crap from getting these. So now we can go ahead and polish this whole motor and make it a nice show polish all the way around. So that is going to be the plan. So it only took about 2 hours to figure out how to make all this stuff mock up. So all these pores are wide open now and letting corrosion in. So we're going to re-color buff this and make it look pretty again. And hopefully when we're all done it'll look like the triple tree over here, which we did the same thing with earlier. This one. So bend and polish it up nicely, so now it's almost the same color as the chrome. See, that's chrome, that's polish. Pretty nice. Looks pretty close. Here's his new transmission. So the triple tree is real nice and clean, just like it is. So anyway, we'll get the this all buttoned up and nice and polished. Then I'll take all these used parts off, swap it out, hose it down a little bit so there's no loose grit on the outside, and then go ahead and put the whole motor together for real. But right now, to get access to all these areas here and through here, you can't have the parts on there. If you had the lifter block sitting up inside the hole there, you couldn't get to darn around the inside edge here. So that's why to make all these plates up and stuff to get so we can get to it. Alright, so that's how you do all that. I'll find me an engine stand here on the floor over there, slap that up on an engine stand, and be ready to go for getting the polish job. So maybe we show Ben doing a little bit of that work later. So anyway, that's it for tonight. So it's early. It's not even 12 yet. It's only 11:20. It's early tonight. Okay, that's it for now. Alright, I'm back. So much for getting out of early. I never get out before midnight. Come on. Gotta get an early start on the day. So I went ahead and whipped up a cover here. We're going through the Magneto stuff and found the cover for that. Put some screws on there. Found the gasket. Well, if you got a gasket, you can make a template cover. Boom, one cover. Whip that up. Now, this already has a gasket built in because it's got the stuff on it. We'll put the gasket on there too. This one's highly polished piece of aluminum I'm using. We don't want to use cheap stuff. We use that mirror polish on the backside. Alright, so now they can buff it right to the edge of what this is going to be. There. Don't worry about tape coming off or anything now. It's just like it's supposed to be. Nice and sealed up. So got a nice cover there. Got the Morris Magneto cover on that. So that's all that. In case you wonder what goes on there, that goes on there. Looks like you got a clear cover for it instead of the ugly black one over there. Yeah, this piece of crap goes on there like this. So, if anybody wants to put that junk on a bike, sure makes it run like crap. Oh well. That's what they want. That's what they want. Can't save everybody, right? Alright, so that's all buttoned up. We're up on our engine stand. Yeah, that's close. It's all sealed up all around. Still haven't found those two screws for that yet. That's the only thing that's left of these two screws. So, anyway, so that's how it looks. I'll bring out a couple bags to put on this from the house. I got some bigger bags to put around here. Some old shopping bags. They work good for that. And that'll button this up on the top. And that's ready for polishing. So there you go. It even looks like a motor right now. It's amazing. Alright, now it's almost tomorrow. So I can get an early start on the day by getting out of here early. Then I go home and do 3 hours of video work at home. That's why those videos get posted at 5, 6 in the morning Western time. That's because I work all night. Alright, that's it for now. I'm going home this time.